Hello, this is Terry Ensberg. Sorry for the air conditioning noise in the background. It's very hot here today in Southern California. My quote for today is, I've got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. There are a lot of beautiful things in the world, and some of them are in my backyard. I got garlands from the Dollar Tree and wrapped around the bougainvillea, and I really like the way it looks. There's a lot of turbulence in the world right now. Every day there's some weird, crazy stuff happening. But that's not the whole story. The whole story includes beautiful, quiet, peaceful things. Well, maybe not quiet, but peaceful things. Let's see that. There's that. See, this is the way it is too. There's a lot to be grateful for, just in the natural rhythms of the world. So now we're going to go inside because it's pretty hot out here. And I want to talk about what I'm grateful for. When I saw that quote, I've got the sun in the morning and the moon at night, it made me think about the underlying rhythms of human life and of being a human being, and how those are immutable. No one can take those from us. Those are beautiful, lovely things, the basics of living that belong to us regardless of what's happening in Washington or what's happening in general with the pandemic. So some of the things that I'm grateful for that are blessings for me are growing things like we just looked at. Even if all you have is one pot on a windowsill with something growing in it, that's a living thing you can care for and that you can be part of, and it's part of you, and it's a blessing. One of the things that I'm grateful for in this pandemic are food and drink. And by the way, I have no connection even remotely with any product at all. This is just for fun. But I like to eat this Bear Creek soup. And it comes in a lot of different kinds, different flavors and varieties. And I just dump it in the crock pot with 8 cups of water and maybe some canned meat or some meat that I've frozen from when I was cooking something else. And it's absolutely delicious. And it sells for about $3 at Walmart. Anybody can, if you can afford to eat, you can afford to eat this. And what a tremendous blessing to have something so delicious, so easy, and so inexpensive. But my blessings are embedded in my life, like in those pictures that kids do where it'll say pick out all the teapots or the teddy bears or whatever, and you don't realize they're there until you really start looking, and then you're like, oh, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one. That's how blessings are. You have to focus to see them because of what psychologists call our negativity bias. And what that is an evolved tendency to notice danger, and that has helped us survive. So we all have a tendency to constantly survey the landscape of our lives, looking for dangerous things, negative things. But we can train our minds to do it differently, to see the positive things and to see the blessings that are embedded in daily life. And that's what I'm trying to do, because I want, at the end of this period of time, this era of pandemic and political unrest, to be better than I would have been if it had never happened. That's my goal. Another thing that I'm very grateful for is that I've been able to read storybooks to my grandkids on video. I remember this book from when I was a kid, and it has been a fun trip down memory lane to read some of the books that were read to me, and other books too, or some of the books I read to my kids. And it's a way for me to have a presence in their lives other than just sending them stuff, which I love to do. And it's fun to FaceTime, but it's kind of hard to make conversation with them when they're very little. And this is a way that they can know of me and I can give something to them. And it's truly been a wonderful thing for me to be able to do that. Wonderful for me, and I hope enjoyable for them. Another blessing in my life are my family and friends. And this almost goes without saying. It is such a wonderful comfort to have the family I have and the friends I have, but especially my two friends, Mindy and Helen. Such dear friends, so there for me all the time, always aware of how I'm doing, always there to comfort me, to help me through whatever's going on in my life, and we all do that for each other. I couldn't have better friends, and I don't know how I would have made it through this period of time without them. And we all have this Mahjong cup. I drink coffee out of this. We all have it. We play Mahjong together on an app with FaceTime. We really enjoy it. Helen taught Mindy and me how to play. And this connection that we have has been transformative. These things are part of being human. And the sun in the morning, the moon at night, food, drink, friends, the natural world, we're part of it. Nobody can separate us from our being an element of the natural world, from our communion with it, and with our basic humanness. That's there underneath everything. And we're so adapted to it that we don't necessarily pay close attention. But when I do pay close attention, I realize what a huge substrate of support, comfort, sustenance, joy that I have in my life, and that the circumstances surrounding me and other people cannot make those things go away. The last thing that I want to mention in this video about my blessings is humor. And one of the things I've learned from getting older is that nobody can tell me how seriously to take things. That's my personal decision. I decide how seriously I take things. Excuse me. Sometimes when you're young, you've been taught the structure of the world, kind of the architecture of it. When you get older, you realize that's very subjective and that you decide the structure of the world. You decide what's funny and what isn't. You decide whether or not you're going to be kind of knocked over by something or you're not. And that's something that I so appreciate. It's one of the intangible benefits of being older. And it is not something that can be taken away. It's there. So if you're one of my grandchildren or great-great-great-grandchildren, I want you to learn that when things are tough and you feel kind of tossed around in stormy weather of life, there are things you can hold on to and enjoy and become fed by at a soul level. And look for those things. They are there. Thank you for listening to me. Talk to you later. Bye.